My girlfriend claimed her lavish spa day on our trip was a gift from her mom. I smiled. Then I showed her the credit card statement with her treating her side guy using my card. I began the process of canceling her return ticket and immediately froze my card. She was stranded and frantically calling me. Original post: I, Wayne, consider myself a patient man. Tolerant, even. But when trust is torched, my patience evaporates. My girlfriend, Sophia, 29F, didn't just burn a bridge, she napalmed the entire damn valley. We were on this incredible 2-week trip, something I'd saved up for, a sort of third anniversary celebration. We've been living together for about a year. The first week was fantastic. Hiking, exploring, just us. Then, about 10 days in, Sophia announced this super special spa day, claimed her mom Janice had called her, wanting to treat her as a belated birthday gift. It sounded a little off schedule, her birthday being months ago, but Janice could be spontaneously generous. Sophia was gone most of the day, returning radiant, full of talk about massages and fancy mud. That evening, I was on my banking app, just keeping an eye on our trip budget. We maintain separate primary accounts, but she's an authorized user on one of my credit cards, strictly for emergencies or agreed-upon shared expenses during the trip. That's when I saw it. Serenity Peak Spa Resort. And 2 distinct charges: Signature Indulgence Package, $629.16, and another, Signature Indulgence Package, $629.07, totaling $1,258.33. My heart did a weird thud. That's a hell of an expensive spa day. The air in the room suddenly felt thin. Sophia, I started, trying to keep my voice neutral. This spa charge is significant, and it shows 2 signature indulgence packages? She gave a little laugh, maybe a fraction too bright. Oh, that's weird. Their billing must be messed up. It was just little old me. Mom handled the payment over the phone, I think. She wanted me to have the best. The lie was so blatant, so poorly constructed, it was almost insulting. My stomach churned. I'd noticed her being a bit too engrossed in texts lately, with someone listed as Jordan, work. She'd been cagey when I'd asked. I'd let it slide. Idiot. I didn't push it further that night. Said I was tired, sleep was patchy. The next morning, while she was taking an extra long shower, humming to herself, a knot of certainty tightened in my gut. I picked up her phone, a boundary I'd never crossed before, but this felt different, urgent. Her messages with Jordan, work, weren't work-related. Far from it. And there it was, a text from him dated the day before. Yesterday's spa escape was unreal. Best massage ever. You sure your guy is cool with you being this relaxed with a work colleague? Followed by one from her, he has no idea. Thinks mom paid. Details. My hands were shaking, not with rage but with a cold, clarifying anger. She hadn't just lied, she'd used my money, the card I entrusted her with for our trip, to fund a romantic spa day with another man. On our anniversary trip. The audacity was breathtaking. I didn't shout, I didn't throw things. I got very, very still. When she emerged wrapped in a towel, beaming, I was sitting on the edge of the bed. Morning sunshine, she trilled. Sophia, my voice was low, devoid of any warmth. We need to talk about the spa. I showed her my phone, the banking app displaying the 2 charges for the packages. Who exactly received the second package, Sophia? Her smile melted. I told you, Wayne, it's a mistake. I'll call the spa later and sort it. No need to call the spa. I then showed her the screenshots of her texts with Jordan. Her face went ashen. You went through my phone? She stammered, eyes wide with panic, not remorse. You used my credit card to take your lover on a $1,200 spa day, on our trip, and then lied to my face about it, repeatedly. Silence. She stared, trapped. Me. I've already spoken with Capital One. This card, I tapped my wallet, is now frozen, all transactions blocked, and I've initiated the cancellation process for your return flight ticket that was booked on this card. They said it could take 24 to 48 hours to confirm the cancellation with the airline due to policies, but the request is in and flagged. Her jaw literally dropped. You can't do that. It's in motion, I said. You wanted to treat Jordan? Perhaps he or your mother can fund your new travel arrangements. We're finished, Sophia. I stood, reached for my suitcase. My flight leaves tomorrow as scheduled. Yours is now uncertain. Her voice rose, cracking. But all my things are at your place. How am I supposed to get home? You can't just leave me here. You're resourceful, I said, the words like ice chips. You managed this whole charade. I'm sure you'll figure something out. I walked out of the room, her sputtering protests following me. I'm now at a different hotel near the airport. My phone has been a constant barrage of calls and texts. Sophia, furious and panicked. Then her mother, Janice, indignant. Then her sister, Natalie, accusatory. I haven't answered. I needed to think, to process the sheer depth of the betrayal. Part of me is still reeling. 3 years. But overriding the hurt is a chilling sense of clarity, and a grim satisfaction in knowing she's about to collide head-on with the consequences of her actions. Update 1. 72 hours later. The past 3 days have been illuminating, mostly about the depths of Sophia's and her family's entitlement. I flew home as scheduled. The apartment felt eerily quiet. First order of business, a locksmith. New locks, new deadbolts. Her key is now a souvenir of her poor choices. That set me back about $300, but worth every cent. The communication barrage continued. I let them all go to voicemail. Sophia's messages were a predictable roller coaster. Wayne, you monster. You actually did it. My ticket is gone. Jordan bailed, said this is too much baggage. I'm stranded. I have no money. The Jordan part was almost funny. My stuff. My life is in that apartment. You have to let me in. I'm calling the police if you don't. Janice, her mom, took the disappointed but righteous tone. Wayne, I am appalled. To abandon Sophia like this, she made an error in judgment, certainly, but this is cruel. You have a responsibility to see her home safely and ensure she has her belongings. No mention of the $12 and $58.33, of course. You need to send her money for a new ticket immediately. It's the least you can do after this traumatic experience you've put her through. Natalie, the sister, was pure attack dog. You're a sick individual, Wayne. Leaving her high and dry? What if something happens to her? That's on you. She needs her things, her laptop, her clothes for job interviews. You better not have touched anything, or we're coming over and it won't be pretty. After about the 30th call, I sent a single concise text to Sophia. Your belongings are secure. You may arrange one time to collect them. Your mother or sister may accompany you. You will not enter the apartment beyond the immediate entryway. Provide a date and time. A few hours of silence, then a text from Natalie. Tomorrow, 2 p.m., have it all packed by the door, and you will give Sophia funds for her ticket and to tide her over. The sheer nerve. Unbelievable. So I spent an evening packing her life into boxes. Clothes, makeup, books, those awful decorative gourds she insisted on. It was cathartic. While sorting, I came across some old bank statements of hers she'd carelessly left in a drawer. A few odd cash withdrawals and small, unexplained Venmo payments to names I didn't recognize from around the time she claimed to be on work dinners or girls' nights out over the past year. Nothing concrete like the Jordan texts, but enough to paint a picture that this deceit wasn't a one-off, more like a pattern I'd been too trusting to see. The knot in my stomach from the initial discovery tightened into a cold, hard certainty. This was more than just one spa day. This morning, a small, vindictive part of me felt a sliver of satisfaction when I got a fraud alert from Capital One. Even though the card was frozen for new purchases, they monitor attempts. An attempted online charge from Global Airways for $530. Sophia, bless her entitled heart, actually tried to use the frozen card. Declined, obviously. It just underscored her absolute refusal to accept reality. 2 p.m. is approaching. I've moved everything into the living room, right by the door. My phone is set to record audio. This won't be pleasant, but it needs to be done. My calm is still there, but it's a brittle calm now, overlaying a deep, simmering resentment. Update 2. The 2 p.m. collection was every bit the circus I anticipated, minus the clowns, unless you count Sophia's attempts at emotional manipulation. They were late, of course. 2:20 p.m. Sharp, aggressive knocking. I opened the door to Natalie and Janice. Sophia hovered behind them, tear-streaked and sullen, arms crossed. Natalie, ever the charmer. About time. Where is it? And the cash? Me. Good afternoon. Her belongings are here. I indicated the wall of boxes. All of it. This is the only opportunity to collect them. Regarding cash, Sophia exhausted any goodwill and financial considerations when she fraudulently used my credit card to the tune of over $1,200 for an illicit rendezvous. Janice, voice laden with faux maternal concern. Wayne, please, she's distraught. She understands she made a terrible mistake. Surely, you can find it in your heart to help her get home and settled? Think of the 3 years. Sophia finally speaking, her voice wobbling. You owe me, Wayne. You left me with nothing. Jordan was a mistake, a stupid mistake, but you're just being cruel and vindictive now. It was like a well-rehearsed play of entitlement. Me, Sophia, your choices have consequences. The $600+ you spent on Jordan can be considered your parting gift. You're not receiving any further funds from me. I then glanced at the boxes. I found some interesting old bank statements while packing. Seems like Jordan might not have been the only work dinner that cost more than just time. Sophia's face flushed from pale to blotchy red. Janice shot her a sharp, questioning look. Natalie just looked impatient. Natalie, just get the damn boxes. Let's go. They started hauling. It took them 4 trips to Natalie's SUV. Sophia attempted to push past me on their 3rd trip. Sophia, I need to check the bedroom. My grandmother's earrings, I bet you kept them. I stood firm. No, Sophia. Everything I found of yours is in those boxes. You are not coming any further into my home. Oh, for heaven's sake, Wayne, let her look. Don't be petty. The time for negotiation or trust is long past. Take what's here and leave. My voice was quiet but unyielding. There was a flicker of something in my chest, not regret, but a dull ache for the sheer waste of it all. I pushed it down. They finally loaded the last box. As Natalie slammed the SUV hatch, Sophia turned for one last plea. Sophia, fresh tears impressively timed. Wayne, please, I'm so sorry. I know I messed everything up, but I still love you. Can't we at least talk this through, try to fix it? There's nothing left to fix, Sophia. You demonstrated quite clearly who you are and what you prioritize. Goodbye. I closed the door. The click of the deadbolt was profoundly final. My hands were trembling slightly, the adrenaline finally hitting. Not from fear, but from the strain of holding it all together. The smear campaign started almost immediately. Vague social media posts from Sophia about unimaginable betrayal and being discarded by someone she gave her heart to, conveniently omitting her starring role in said betrayal. A couple of her closer friends, clearly fed her version, sent me some accusatory DMs. I ignored them. What's the point? The real surprise came later that evening, a text from an unknown number. Hey Wayne, it's Amber, Sophia's cousin. We met at your barbecue last summer. Listen, I heard what went down. Sophia's staying with us for a couple of days until my aunt and uncle Janice figure out her flight. Just wanted to say, you're not the bad guy here. Sophia has a history of this kind of drama and entitlement. My mom, Janice's sister, isn't surprised. Don't let them make you doubt yourself. That was unexpected and a small, grim validation. Sophia is still out of state. How she gets back or pays for it is no longer my concern. The apartment feels lighter. The process of reclaiming my space, my peace, has begun. The anger is still there, a cold ember, but it's banked by a sense of inevitable, if painful, justice. She orchestrated her own mess. Final update. It's been a little over 3 months since D-Day, Discovery Day, as I've morbidly started calling it. The emotional waves have mostly subsided, leaving a rather barren shoreline, but also a clear view forward. Sophia eventually made it back. From what I pieced together from Amber, we exchanged a few more brief, polite texts. Janice and her husband did end up paying for a new flight, but only after Sophia apparently wore them down with a week of incessant dramatics, and after they likely realized no one else was going to bail her out. Her social media pity party fizzled out. Turns out, vague accusations don't hold up well when the accused doesn't engage, and whispers of the other side of the story start circulating. Thanks, perhaps, to Amber and her mom not co-signing Sophia's narrative. Some of her more vocal online defenders quietly went silent. My real friends, who knew the kind of person I am, never doubted my character, only expressing shock at Sophia's audacity. About a month after the collection, I got a very formal-sounding letter in the mail. It was from a lawyer retained by Sophia. It was full of bluster about emotional distress, unlawful retention of property, referring to the mythical grandmother's earrings she later found in one of her own bags, a fact she never bothered to correct with her lawyer, it seems, and a demand for $5,000 for reimbursement of shared expenses and relocation costs. It also vaguely alluded to my responsibility for charges on the card, as she was an authorized user. My response was equally formal, via a lawyer I consulted, just to be safe. We sent back copies of the credit card statement showing the two $629 plus charges for the spa packages. Copies of her texts with Jordan confirming the illicit nature of the spa day. A copy of my immediate fraud report to Capital One regarding the spa charge and the subsequent freezing of the card. A polite note that any claim of shared benefit for the spa charge was demonstrably false and fraudulent, and that her use of the card for this purpose was a gross violation of our understanding for its use. A suggestion that if she pursued this, I would vigorously countersue for the full amount of the fraudulent spa transaction and all associated legal fees, and that the documented deceit would be central to that defense. Absolute silence after that. Her lawyer probably advised her that emotional distress over being caught cheating and subsequently dumped isn't a winning legal strategy. The consequences for Sophia have been tangible. Amber mentioned Sophia had to move out of her pricier apartment a month or so after returning. She couldn't swing it solo without my contributions subsidizing her lifestyle. She's apparently living in a much smaller place, further out. The car she drove, which was in her name, thankfully, but one I know she struggled with payments on, was, according to Amber, repossessed about a month ago. She also seems to be job hopping, unable to land anything that supports her previous tastes. Some of her friends, the ones who weren't just enablers, apparently distanced themselves after the full extent of her deceit and the subsequent drama became clearer. There's been no apology, no acknowledgement of wrongdoing. From what little I hear, she still paints herself as the victim of a cruel, unfeeling ex. Entitlement runs deep. For me, the whole ordeal was a painful but necessary purge. The quiet satisfaction comes not from active revenge, but from seeing the natural, logical consequences of her actions unfold. She made her choices, and she now owns the outcome. Canceling that card, starting the flight cancellation, and leaving her to deal with the immediate mess she created by taking her lover on that spa day with my money. That was the line in the sand. Her frantic calls weren't a source of joy, but a confirmation that reality was finally intruding on her fantasy. My apartment is my sanctuary again. I'm slowly getting back out there. The financial sting of the trip and the spa debacle has faded. The lesson, however, remains. Trust, once incinerated, doesn't just magically reappear. And some people will take everything if you let them. She didn't just lose a boyfriend. She lost the comfortable, subsidized life she clearly took for granted. That, in itself, is justice served.